Okay, my name is Ian Smith of Synchrotech Solutions. I'm joined today by Jerry Rizzuto, one of our senior CRM consultants, business analysts. And this is a Dynamics 365 customer service demo. So we're calling it Dynamics 365 Customer Service Power Moves 2020. And so what we're going to cover today is the customer service hub with the unified interface. We'll take a look at a couple of interactive dashboards. We'll look briefly at the app designer. We'll look at a couple of power apps, and then we'll just walk through the process and show some of the features that are part of the unified interface, including things like the timeline. And we'll also briefly look at customer service insights, and then we're going to show the business process flow for customer service case entry through the life cycle to resolution, including various ways to enter cases by manual case entry, from incoming phone calls, email to case, customer self-service portal, the mobile app, and there's also the Dynamics 365 app for Outlook. So there's a multitude of ways to get your cases into the system. The common theme is just manual case entry, which will allow us to cover a lot of the various aspects of the CRM system that are now available with the unified interface. So one of the first things we'll do is show the interactive dashboards. So let me make sure our presentation is going okay here. I'm gonna probably cut off my camera so that I'm not taking up too much screen real estate. All right. And I'm going to switch over to demo mode as opposed to PowerPoint mode. The PowerPoint mode, the PowerPoint we can send you after the fact. And minimize that and bring over one of my screens here. So I'm just going to use the PowerPoint as a kind of a script for me to keep me on track, because I do have a lot of different things to show you today. So one of the things I like to do when I get into the Dynamics 365 app, especially now with the unified interface, is I like to maximize my screen real estate. So if possible, I'll just hit F11, and that can be disorienting if you're not used to it, but it's cool to see what it looks like when you maximize the screen real estate. So it does kind of look more like an app right now. There probably is a way to get rid of the taskbar at the bottom also, so it really would look like an app. So you're in a very focused mode here. The unified interface has a number of cool features, which I'm sure I'm not going to be able to cover all of them today. But for example, we can do a editable grid right here. So it's super simple and just very convenient, especially now when you go and look at the interactive dashboards. Because you're going to want to look at this and say, oh, how come there's not more interactive, how come there's not more cases that are in a certain priority or a certain incident type or a certain subject? Then you can just really quick go ahead and change those things on the fly without having to open up the cases. So the interactive dashboard it's not new at this point, but it's still relatively fresh and a great look for using the Dynamics 365 unified interface. It's not available in the classic user interface. And so what we see here is really powerful and simple to configure dashboard. I mean, that's one of the things about it, is it's very simple to configure. And you can set up a nice looking dashboard like this in just an hour or two with just some views and some charts. And then these are tiles over here, and everything's filterable. So if I want to filter on my active cases, okay, I'm getting spammed in the middle of my call here. All right. So you can filter here by clicking on, say, cases by priority. I only want to see the high priority cases. So as soon as I do that, everything else on the dashboard is filtered. And then, of course, I can clear that filter. And if I want to navigate to those cases, I have a stream over here of active cases. So here I just click on it to open the case. And I'm into the Dynamics 365 form. So before I jump into the form, I just want to cover some other things with the navigation. So let me go back out to the view of the cases. And just give you a little bit of a kind of a high level on the unified interface. Sorry, I got a little scratchy throat today. I was up late last night preparing this presentation. So interactive dashboard I talked about real quick, but here is another part of the unified interface, which is really kind of important, as it's like an overlay. So we can switch the apps. So here you can see there's a whole bunch of different apps, and I have the sales hub, I have the customer service hub. Click Dimensions has their own app. I have a portal management, which I'm going to show you. So if you go here, you can see all the different apps that are available. These are the ones that I have pinned, and I have a couple different environments on here. So there's my production environment, and then there's the demo environment that we're working in today. And also now, in order to be able to navigate to some different things, I just go to get rid of the F11 because I'm not necessarily in a focus mode here. I'm kind of in the opposite of focus mode. I'm trying to show you all different things. So I'm going to come over to show you some of the applications that we have here. So here we have different apps, and when we go to, so this is the app that we're working with here. So the environment is up here, Dynamics 365, Sync 365 demo, and then I go to the customer service hub, and I can edit that. I can show you what the app designer looks like. And the app designer is, again, kind of like an overlay. The app is kind of like an overlay of your environment. So what we can do is control which entities are enabled for that app. So you can really simplify the security. So because if the entity isn't available in the app, you're not going to be able to get to that entity at all. So you need to enable the entities, and then you enable which forms and views and charts and dashboards are available in that app. Also, there's the sitemap designer is part of the app designer. And that's enables you to drag and drop and add different areas to your sitemap. So here's our service sitemap. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. Sorry. And then there's also the business process flow designer. So we'll show the business process flow of the customer service case management. And here's business process flow. So this is the most general one, phone to case. If we click edit, just takes us into that. So here we can show the different steps or data that we want to collect at each step of the way. So this allows you to set up, hold on one second. All right, hopefully I'll be good now. This allows you to set up best practices so that you have a consistent user experience for all the different cases. And it also allows you to automate the processes. We can add workflows in here to kick off as we proceed through various stages of the cases. Here you can see, for example, I'm adding a description at this level, but I'm not making it required in order to complete the stage. But at this stage, I said the description field is required. So I'll show you what that looks like when we get into the business process flow. In order to resolve the case, you need to add certain information. In order to advance from one stage to the next, you have to add certain information. Okay, so so let's go and look at a case. And so we can navigate one way or the other. We can start, a lot of people like to start off on the dashboard. And again, you can filter. This is the tier 1 dashboard that comes out of the box with Customer Service Hub, which is just an app that's kind of like pre-configured for you, including a couple of dashboards. So again, I can filter on this, or I can navigate directly to it. This one doesn't have as many obvious filters. Let's look at the tier 2 dashboard. And let's look at the Microsoft 365 cases, set up audio conferencing. So it takes us right to that case. And if we want to, we can see other cases that were in the same filtered stream that we had looked at just then. And I can see that this case has a service level agreement that's nearing its expiration, and that's because we haven't gotten back in contact with this person. And I'm going to just show you something real quick. F11 again. So this is something that's this is coming, but it's not ready yet because I configured it too late. But this is going to be a dashboard. This is Customer Service Insights. So this is an add-on. It's not included with the base subscription or the full user subscription. It's an add-on subscription for Customer Service Insights. But the dashboards that are included with this includes a lot of artificial intelligence and Power BI. So it's going to enable you to keep a very close track on, for example, cases that are approaching their expiration of their service level agreements, and allow you to improve your customer service capabilities in terms of satisfaction to make sure that these cases don't expire. Like I have 20 seconds to fix this one, to get back in touch with the contact. So I'm just going to say first response sent yes, but that would typically be configured with an automated workflow. And you could do it any number of ways, but here we're gonna just create a email. So I'll create an email from the timeline, and this is a new enhanced email experience that's part of the 2020 release wave 1. And what we see here is just a quick way to create an email, and it's got rich text formatting now, so it does all the things that we would expect from an email editor. So if we had some templates here, we could just pop them in. And we could save it and we could send it. Not going to send the email. This demo environment is not hooked up to Exchange server-side sync. So the email is not actually going to send, but we would see that pop up on the timeline here. And the nice thing about this timeline also is that you can see all of your activities. So let's just actually go up to the case, actually go up to the customer, the account level, so that we can look at the timeline here. So this one should have some more activities. And this timeline can be configured to actually take up you can make it one of the tabs here. You can just create a timeline tab, and you can make it so that it takes up more space, so you have more space to work with. And then this is just a little feature here that says what are the new activities that have been created since last time you were visiting this site. And then you can also filter these activities to show just notes or just activities. And you can also just click on the activities to expand them or collapse them. And this is a long-awaited feature and functionality of Dynamics 365, because previously activities and notes were in separate places. So if you wanted to see all the engagements with a particular customer, you had to go to two different places. So now, and these are all configurable also, and now they all show in sequence. So what's configurable is you can configure the sort sequence, you can configure what actually shows. These are called cards, so you can configure what shows on here for the different types of activities. It's got a nice search feature. You could add activities right from here, so you could add your phone calls. So I use this feature quite a lot. And the other things about this new user interface here is everything is kind of tab oriented, so it keeps you from having to scroll too far down the page. And you can create your own tabs. And then we have all different related entities, which could be many. So before we get to that, I'll just show you this panel over here, which again, maximizing screen real estate. We can see the related contacts. We can see related opportunities. We can see related cases, related knowledge base articles, actually entitlements. So as you saw when we created a new case, so let's go ahead and create a new case for this account. So from here, let's see. Recent cases. I'm not sure what's going on here. Related.
The three dots next to recent cases.
Yeah, I want to add a new case. I don't know why I couldn't find that. So this is opening up a quick create case, and I'm gonna say case title. I'm gonna say install virtual office phone app on user's PC, and the subject is going to be technical support, and I'll just call it, I don't have one here for phone system, so I'll just say it's Microsoft 365, and then it's a request that's coming in. And you see, I'm not going to enter the entitlement, but I'm just going to hit save and close. And install virtual office. So here's the case. Cases. Install virtual office. I don't know why this is behaving this way. It's not doing what it's supposed to do right now. Edit. Was behaving differently a little while ago, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so here's the case. And it's giving me, again, I'm looking at this panel over here. I can see recent cases. I can see knowledge articles. And I can see similar cases. Okay, so that's all configurable to set up the kind of search that the application uses to find those things. What I wanted to show you here was immediately we have, upon creation of a case, we have an entitlement popped in, and that's because at the, let's go to configuration. So this is case entry. I'll just pop over to configuration for a minute, configuration mode. So I'm going to come out of this case. Just go back to my main menu here, and I'm in the service. I'm in the customer service hub, but I'm in the kind of like the end user mode here, and then I'll just go over to the configuration mode, and I'll show entitlements, and I have one set up for AdventureWorks. So I was going to create a new one for, let's say, new entitlement. I'm gonna actually create the new entitlement from a template. So I have a template that provides the details of what that entitlement will be. So I'm going to give them the gold treatment here, gold plus, and this is going to be Carter Machinery gold, and this is going to be for Carter Machinery. Okay, and save and close. And so now if we go to Carter Machinery, and it looks different every time I look at it. Recent cases, new case. So of course, Carter Machinery is filled in. I'm going to say configure. We might get a request to say configure customer service entitlements for a client. And that would be a Microsoft, that would be a Dynamics 365 technical support. Type of case is a request. And again, I'm not filling in the entitlement. We don't always expect our customer service reps to know which one is there. So if it's set up ahead of time. Okay, this is the account. This is the case. ... Edit. And here we see the service level agreements that are associated with that case. And if we close out this case, we'll be able to see that the service level, the entitlements will be decremented. We give them 12 cases per the gold entitlement. Also, when we're working on this case, we can manage the case so that we don't have to do everything ourselves. We can add it to the queue. So let's just go ahead. Actually, I can add it to the queue manually, but let me say route it to the queue, because again, our customer service people, as long as they're filling out the required information, and let's make sure they're doing that by advancing the business process flow. Now this says entitlement is blank here, so I'm not sure why that is. Should have populated the entitlement. Okay, I'm not sure how it knew. Got the service level agreement, but it didn't get the entitlement. So let's just.
You might have had to made it the default, Ian, but that could be.
Oh, you're right. Darn
Yeah.
it. Oh, I always forget to do that.
Yeah.
Good catch. Thank you, Jerry.
Sure.
So when I created that entitlement, since I didn't create it as the default, why is it not finding it now? Okay. And I'm not going to be able to advance this until I. What happened to my? I got it in there, thank goodness. Okay, I do need to say what type of case it is or where it came from. All right, I have to go back and fix that entitlement. I didn't create it quite right. So let's just get out of this one and go to this case here. Again, you can edit that with the editable grid. So you have to be careful where you're clicking, otherwise it thinks you just want to edit something about the case. So in this case, I'm going to say just route it automatically. You say route, I say route. All right. And then it knows what queue to put it in based on the subject of the case. So now if we go and look at our case, we go back and look at our queues. We can see that I think this is the one we're just working on here, is in this queue. So we can get the queue details here. And it's not saying that I'm working on it, but it is saying it's in the queue. So then if anybody who's a member of that queue goes to that case, they can select it and they can pick it to say that they're going to be working on that case. So now you can see who's working on that case. Okay, so so that's some of the cool things in the business process flow. There's also knowledge articles. There's customized case resolution. So let me just see if we can advance. Again, with the editable grid, it's a double-edged sword because you have to not double-click directly into the cells that are editable. So the business process flow just goes like this. Once you start entering the required information, it's going to prompt you to say you're not able to advance until you fill out the required information. Okay, so here we're good. We don't need to do anything. We should, and that's part of the consistency that you get when you use business process flow, is that people need to enter this information. Okay, and this is saying basically more information on what the problem is. So this is obviously a very small screen there, but you can go to the description field and say what you did to install the phone app on the user's PC. Okay, so go to config and install blah, blah, blah. Okay, and then finish. And then now that it's finished, you can resolve it. And this is going to show that there's a new field here that's customized that says, okay, I'm just going to say it was completed. And you can say how many minutes it took. And then also you can say whether it's covered by our Synchrotech network assurance plan, yes or no, and how, and if it's not covered, which would be included, then you can say how much time it took. And then you can add some additional remarks if you want to. But that's showing that the case resolution is configurable. Just want to show you a couple screenshots because I'm not going to have time to get into everything here. So let's just do a couple quick screenshots of some of these things. Let's say view, begin from here. How do I do that? View, slideshow. Start from current slide. I'm going to switch this display. Okay, so this the interactive dashboard, another interactive dashboard. We showed the customer service hub and the various apps that are included or available that you can switch between. These are pinned apps. There's a whole bunch of available apps. These are the ones that we have pinned. This showed where the app designer is and what the purpose of that is. We showed that we can quickly update cases in a view using editable grids. I didn't show you this, but over on the left side, you can see that we have pinned records. So we can have recently viewed views and records and pinned views and records. So these are the ones that we want to get at quickly on a regular basis. They're right there for us. The timeline, here you can see that the note that we have shown here is has rich text formatting capabilities now. You can also see the filtering on notes and activities, and also the timeline that shows notes and activities all in one chronologically sequenced view or stream, and that is configurable so you can sort it different ways. This is showing the business process flow, which allows you to advance from one stage to the next in a consistent way that enables best practices. This is where we design that business process flow. There's also a mobile app. So here's where we're going to get into the various channels or different ways that you can enter cases. So the thing about the unified interface is that it's consistent across devices. So whether you're using a browser, it works with all the different browsers, and it also works for phones and it works for tablets. So you just download those apps from the App Store or Google Play or the Windows Store. But the user experience is going to be very similar. It's just optimized for those devices. And the thing about being similar, I mean, it's also, you only have to configure it once, and whether you deploy it, you don't have to consider whether you're deploying it to, maybe you have to consider it a little bit, but it is one deployment, whether it's going to the web browser or the app for the phone or the apps for the tablets. It's all a consistent development experience. Then there's also the app for Outlook. So there's an app inside Microsoft Dynamics 365 app for Outlook that allows you to synchronize between your Outlook and track emails, but also be able to quickly create accounts, contacts, cases, even custom entities directly from the panel, which shows up on the right side of your Outlook app. We can integrate cases, or we can integrate a phone system like RingCentral to use, basically uses the channel integration framework, which is a new feature and part of the technology behind the unified interface. And you can see the panel over here on the right that pops up, and the screen pop itself. So you have the channel integration framework over on the right, which is collapsible. You see the little arrow in the upper right hand corner, which makes it collapse and expand. And then also you get the screen pop, which recognizes the phone call coming in, and then you can add your call notes here, your call log, and then you can quickly go to that contact or customer account and then quickly create a case from there also. So that's a nice integration. It's really quite simple to set up, and I would think quite powerful once you start using it. If we have time here in a few minutes, we're going to do a quick demo of email to case with Zap Objects Help Desk, which is basically an advanced starter application. It's a third-party application, but it enables configuration of email to case so that you can just email to a particular email address queue, which is enabled to facilitate creating a case in your CRM system and managing that case through through the process. Here we have customer self-service portal entry. So I'll show you that briefly in a minute. Here's how you set up a new user. Basically just enter a contact. So this is a portal user. You just go to the portal management app. You create a contact or go to an existing contact. You go to this web authentication. You give them a username. Click on login enabled. Add a password for them. And then boom, they go over here to this website, which is part of your, it's like a Power Apps part of your Dynamics 365 CRM integration, subscription, blah, blah, blah. But it's basically right there for you to create a portal and manage and configure everything from basically inside your Microsoft Dynamics 365 CRM/Power Apps. Then there's Customer Service Insights, which I mentioned previously. It's an add-on, gives you actionable insights, critical performance metrics, operational data, emerging trends from your customer service, built-in dashboards, interactive charts, visual filters, provides views into support operations data across channels, and highlights areas for improvements that can have the greatest impact, helping you quickly evaluate, respond to key performance indicators, and improve your customer satisfaction levels. So let me show the Power Apps portal real quick, and then we'll close out with the one thing I forgot to show real quick also was, see if I can pull that up here. Boom. Okay, so this is just an example of another type app that you can develop. So this is a Power App that you can develop yourself. For a mobile app, and this is very customizable. So that's just an example of a Power App that we created here using apps. And then you just say new app, model-driven app, Canvas app, and I believe that one was a Canvas app, but it could also be model-driven app. But that's beyond the scope of this presentation right now. Here's the Power Portal Designer mode, and then I'm going to jump to the design. I'm going to jump to the portal, and so here is an example of the portal, and so once you log into the portal, you can search for a particular topic, how to encrypt PDF documents. So this is a knowledge article that was created, and it'll find suggested articles that match the kind of problem that you're having. If you can't find what you're looking for, just open up a new case. And this is for Bill Gates of AdventureWorks. So it's going to open a new case for that customer. So in this case, we want to install app for Outlook on new PC, say laptop. Okay, what kind of case is it? It's going to give you suggestions every time. It's coming in the request. It's Dynamics 365 type. And basically I can just keep that for now in the description. And then I could also upload a file here, submit that. And as soon as it's here, I'm going to go to my cases. I'm actually in AdventureWorks here. So I can just go to AdventureWorks. And I can see related cases. And install app a new laptop. And you can see that one originated on the web. It's got a description already. This is just a quick view panel that shows information about the customer. Doesn't necessarily say who created the case. But, oh, there it does. It says contact Bill Gates. Okay. And then let's just do a quick email to case, and then we'll see if there's any questions. Okay, we're going to do a real quick demo of the Zap Objects Help Desk. It's a third-party solution that is a huge quick starter for implementing customer service case management. Basically what it does is it takes any emails coming into your system and it converts them to cases. So those emails go to a specific queue. You can have multiple queues. I'm going to send this one to our technical support at synchrotech.com, and I'm going to just put a subject line in here, recreate print packages and automate email templates. I'm just going to also make sure that that gets populated into here. I'll put some more text there and send it. Okay, so we are the sender here, and we got a reply back from the Synchrotech support queue that a case has been created. So let's just go ahead and take a quick look at that, and we can see that the case number has been populated into the subject line. So basically what we're saying is we're tracking that case under this case number, and for future correspondence please ensure that that case number is added to the subject line. Meanwhile, over in the CRM system, if we just refresh our cases here, we see that a new ticket has been created, and if we take a look at that, we can see that the customer account has been found, and that's because for that customer account, the iSmith Gmail account is a contact for that parent account. We see that the origin of the case was from an email, and we see the flow of emails, including an internal notification that goes out to our support team that the a new case has been added to our support queue. So just like any other case, you can go ahead and start working on this case. You can look at the queue item details. You can see it's not being worked by anybody right now. And if you wanted to take a look at the queue here, we could see that this case is not being worked by anybody, and we could pick it so that we could work on it ourselves. And then we get back to work. One of the things we can do with this application is that we can do quick reply emails from the application itself. So this is something that's built right into your process now, that you can do Zap quick email replies, and this just uses your email templates. You can see it's going to go right back to that customer from our support queue, and everything else pretty much is the same, but this just gives you a nice quick start to getting those cases into your system. Again, you can set up multiple queues. You can do the configuration on the various queues. So here's our configuration. We just have it for the one queue, but for each queue that you have, you can do all these different configuration settings. how you create the new cases. Inclusion, exclusion, existing case, make sure it's not already existing, if it's an update to an existing case. What to do with the attachments. So attachments get copied over from the email to the as a note in your notes area. You'll see the email attachment. And again, the notifications, we have internal notification and we have external notification. There's also a nice trick where you can forward emails that came in from somebody who didn't put it to the queue. So I would just get rid of this information and I would just change some information here so it's more test data. So here you can see that we're pretending that this is coming from a test email account, and just going to go ahead and send that to our support queue, and we'll see that that case also will generate a case in the system. I'm just going to make sure that the actual person it's coming from gets blanked out, but it should look for the first email address it finds here, so that'll associate that with the case, and it'll go ahead and open up a new case. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit send here, and then we'll take a quick look at that when it comes through. And we just wanted to check that this case had been created with an email that was forwarded. So the email came in to one of our regular consultants and not necessarily directly to the support queue, but all the consultant has to do is forward it on to the support queue via the email, and then magically you get the case created in the system, and it also associates that case with the customer account that is the parent account of the email that was sent in. So again, it gives you a big jump start on getting the customer service tickets into your system, and hopefully from there you're able to keep track of these things better and just run or tide to ship in terms of managing your customer service.
Manage it right in here. And it's nice because it allows you, the key to having the thread tracked to the correct case. So if there's a back and forth communication, is the case ID, which you would append to any subject. And that way, when whoever you're sending it to responds, it will automatically be associated with this case. It allows for, and this interface allows for email templates. So if you have certain verbiage that you use every time you respond, you can create a template and insert that in here. You can update status reasons and priorities right from this area. If you see right in here. So if you, for instance, one of our clients was configured like Ian had showed the SLA service level agreement that you needed to respond when it within a certain time frame. So what we did for them is when the first email went back to the client saying, other than the auto email, which, we acknowledge that we got the case, but then if the first email that goes back and says, let's set up a meeting for, 1 p.m. so you can share your screen and I can look at your issue, that status then was automatically changed to be in progress. So then it satisfied the SLA.
There is one other thing that we didn't get a chance to show you in the live demo yesterday, and that's because it wasn't quite ready for prime time. It took actually a day or two just to register the, let's take a look at what we're talking about here. So where is it? Okay. Nope, missed. Here it is. Okay, so this is the customer service insights. So it wasn't refreshed in enough time. The data wasn't there before. So now that we have the data, we can just show that dashboard. So it's kind of a nice looking dashboard. Has a lot of built-in artificial intelligence to help you analyze the subtleties of the cases and the relationships or correlations. So as long as you're keeping track of the priorities and the channels, closing out the cases, keeping your service level agreements, then you're going to be able to start to see some nice statistics on those cases. And these are just some nice dashboards that go along with that. And this is just, you know, scratching the surface here. You need to also do some surveys to collect that customer satisfaction, but it gives you an idea. This is just a good place to start in terms of getting your statistics on your customer service.
So what else can I say about Zap? Awesome product. It really, you know, is a time saver. You know, they have awesome support. A lot of times if you report something that isn't working quite the way you like it, they'll change it for you. So we can't, Synchrotech highly endorses this product.
Yeah,
So,
it's a nice third-party product to get you started with customer service case management. So yeah, that I think we covered, although albeit briefly, but we covered everything we wanted to. I'm sure there'll be some things I forgot about. If there's any questions, you know, just go ahead and raise your hand, and we'll try and address them. If not, we will finish the recording here. We will process the recording and post it to YouTube. And then hopefully you got something out of this, and more to come from the possibilities of all the different apps that you can integrate with your CRM customer service system. And appreciate everybody's time today. It was my pleasure to do this presentation, and hopefully we'll see you again. Please reach out if you have any follow-up questions. And yeah, I'd like to say have a good weekend, but it's just hump day today, so hang in there. And it's a beautiful day here in Pennsylvania, so hope everybody else is doing well. Thanks again.
thank you.
All right, take care. Bye.